Talk me inside.
That was my freestyle.
You not gonna freestyle?
That was my freestyle.
That was your freestyle?
Yeah.
That's all she had, dog. That's all she had for us, man. That's who you ladies have representing y'all in the music industry. And it's so crazy, like, for everything that women go through in general and could potentially speak on, rap about in a music, all we end up getting is bars about sex, broke niggas, and getting tricked on. Like, and the thing is, it's not even working for them right now because they're hard pressed to get past 30, 40K in first week sales. There's so much wrong with female rap, but let's just start from the top and work our way. Let's just make our way down the road. Number one, the barrier of entry to be a female rapper nowadays is low as ever, bruh. Think about the archetype. Think about the current meta, bro. If you look good, you thick, twerk on the gram, and talk like Trina in your songs, you can get signed. You can get label backing. That is the current meta. That's all you have to do. It has nothing to do with skill. It has nothing to do with the music you're putting out. Like, a large portion of the audience is only coming there for those things. You think men following Ice Spice are there to listen to her music and get ready for an album drop? Like, if that's all you're giving your followers, that's all they want to see. Think about artists like Doja Cat, who got bashed for cutting her hair and getting away from the more sexualized appearance on her Instagram. Yeah, she's losing male followers, but those weren't her fans anyway. And that's really the point I want to dig into.
Talk your shit about me, I can easily disprove it. It's stupid, you follow me, but you don't really care about the music.
Like, a lot of times these females are able to build these massive followings. Look at Sweetie, look at Ice Spice, look at all the women that kind of share that same archetype. And so I think a lot of times what these labels are doing, they're looking for artists who have already established a following. And if you're only going to use an Instagram account to measure that, you're never going to get an honest representation of someone's following, because the majority of their following is coming for something other than music. So how can I know what my true fan base is until I drop my album? So that's why everybody's so shocked when someone drops an album and a Coil Ray drops an album and sells 10K. Well, you never really knew how many fans she had to begin with. So what ends up happening is the women that are talented and are more reserved on their accounts and aren't freaked out on the gram are completely overshadowed by this current meta, bruh. When you think about males and females in rap, males don't have that luxury of just winning off of their appearance. That doesn't exist in male rap. It just doesn't. As a male artist, your success is largely dependent on your ability to rap and deliver great projects. Like, as a male, your relevance is solely dependent on the music you're putting out, not your appearance. The brand marketability just favors women more. So they are able to branch out and work with a McDonald's or a skincare or bikini line or start a podcast. Like, because they are influencers at the end of the day, not artists. That's what people are there for, is their appeal and their ability to garner a lot of attention, but it doesn't relate to the music they're putting out. Think about Sweetie. She had a meal at McDonald's and the girl can't sell an album. And now she's completely disappeared from music. And that is a perfect example to see kind of what the lifespan looks like. You have a popping song. When Icy dropped, she was the hottest thing out, but couldn't build up any sort of fan base that was there solely for the music. She always leaned on her being sexual on her Instagram. When we look at artists like Ice Spice, and I'm gonna pick on Ice Spice because she just dropped and everybody's bashing her, but truly everybody who's bashing her, like, be honest, what did you expect? Did you really expect Ice Spice to drop album of the year? What has Ice Spice shown you that would make you lead to that conclusion? So people acting surprised. It's not surprise. They're just waiting for her to fail. That's it. No one's disappointed in Ice Spice other than her team. That's it. And it's like labels are pumping so much money in the Ice Spice just for her to sell 20K first week. The girl had 4 songs in like the new music playlist out of 10. The girl had 10. She has 10 songs on her album and 4 of them made the new music playlist, bro. Think about that. Lock in on that. That playlist has nothing to do with how good the music is. It's all coming from these labels, and it's a man-made product at the end of the day when they build these playlists. And so that label influence, yeah, they're gonna pump the money in, but the thing is, they don't get that key factor. But let's move on to another major issue with female rap. They ain't talking about shit. I already mentioned before how they don't talk, all they talk about is sex. But the real issue is when your music lacks substance, it also lacks the ability to relate to an audience and connect on a deeper level. That's the point. Look at Sexy Red's tweet. She says, story time. The night Get It Sexy was made, I was going through a lot. Just had my baby, felt depressed, and was going through postpartum. My team in Miami would leave me in the studio to write songs, and I would just be in there crying, thinking about life. I finally said, send me back to St. Louis so I can be around the ones I love and get back to me. Boom, I'm in St. Louis. I invite all my sisters and friends to my studio session. We had blunts, bottles, food, all that. And it came out with Get It Sexy, Get It Sexy. It really was a confidence booster for me. We were so turned, all my sadness was gone. I love my family, period. And I'm glad that she was able to connect with the people who motivated her probably to do music from the beginning. But damn, don't get me wrong, I love that. But the thing is, why is the default always club music? Everything she just expressed in that tweet, number one, is partially why people really like Sexy Red, is because she's always showing her true self. And that's a really important factor in being successful, is just being authentic, because people see right through when you're faking. So I think that's one reason why even I really do like Sexy Red. But do I think she's going to be around in 10 years? I mean, hopefully for her she is, but it's the fact that if it's just the blueprint doesn't work the way they're going. And that's the problem. And that's kind of why I'm making this video. So instead of her tapping into those emotions that she expressed in that tweet, she defaults to making the party music, which ended up being a huge song. But it's like, what would that song have sounded like from her, where she's pulling from real emotions, real things? Maybe it might not have gone #1 or been top anything, but it would have been a song that people could really connect with, which ends up being ignored by labels, but that would mess around and be somebody's favorite song. Rod Wave isn't packing stadiums for no reason. Everyone likes to call him sad, but that nigga has a cult fan base, and he gonna be in music for as long as he wanna be in music. That's just the point blank period of it all. And it's because he's making that music that is based on emotion. And this is why I said women have so much that they go through and could potentially speak on, but somehow it never really translates into the music, especially with the people I've named in this video: Sexy Red, Ice Spice, Saweetie, Coil Ray, all of them. It never translates into the music. And so what ends up happening, they default to what's got them popping in the beginning, and then also people they've seen in the past. They go with the city girl blueprint. Everybody wants to be a city girl, which literally failed in every way. Like, they don't even like each other no more. Like, that blueprint that they were running on, no talent, which I won't say fully for both of them, because I think JT probably can rap. Her last album was trash though. That was like her Prove It album, and all she could talk about, again, it's the same things. That was really her opportunity. And for me, she's kind of lost my interest. I always made myself believe that she was rapping that way off of influence from Young Miami. But we see now that that's just what a lot of them end up rapping about and what they end up doing. So rather than following talented rappers like Nicki Minaj and even Doja Cat, who seem to be the only ones who can stick with the men in terms of album sales, Pink Friday 2 sold 228K first week. And that's after being in the game for over 10 years, bruh. That's the blueprint. That's who you should be following. Look at Doja Cat. Scarlett sold 72K first week. After basically being canceled online, people calling her a demon, saying she hates her fans. But guess what? They tuned in for that album and they bought it. and they streamed it. That's the point. When all you talk about is sex, you completely lose the opportunity to build that strong fan base that you so desperately need to have longevity and to sell albums. Women who rap like Ice Spice have no idea who their target audience is. If you ask them, they'll probably tell you my music's for the baddies. I'm rapping for the baddies. Well, guess what? Now you've just eliminated 50% of your potential listeners by only targeting females. Part of the reason males have such an advantage in rap is because it can be enjoyed by both women and men, obviously. And so when you're limiting yourself to only making music for the baddies, you've canceled out 50% of potential. Like, that is an insane, when you just think about statistics of running a business, that doesn't make sense. This isn't like you're making bikinis, you're making music. You have the chance to reach more. So why not do it? The males that are truly successful, like Drake and like a Travis Scott, they're able to expand even more than that and be globally accepted. Their target audience isn't so niche. It's broad. Anybody can enjoy it. And that's just smart as a business. So another thing I want to speak on, kind of how I started this video with Ice Spice twerking on Kai's stream. It was just so ridiculous to waste that opportunity to me. Like, Kai is one of the biggest streamers, if not the biggest streamer, especially when you think about the culture in our community. So she goes on stream and is asked to freestyle, and this man is streams to over 300k people. I want to say there was over 300k at the time that she was doing that she was asked to freestyle. And instead of dropping a crazy freestyle and basically shocking everybody, she just twerks. She gives you the same thing that she gives you on her Instagram. So if her goal was to get more followers, she probably got that. You probably achieved that, but they're not tuning in for the music. They never came for the music. So that's your opportunity right there. I can't speak for all men, but when I hear a girl spitting, like when Caribou spit that freestyle on the radar, I was like, nah, who's Caribou? I went to Apple Music. I was like looking for more. When you sliding, bro, it doesn't matter if you're male or female, like you're sliding. And she completely blew that opportunity to even show someone that she had that in her. And I think the value in Kai's stream is the fact that you can go on his stream and show a completely other side and allow people to connect to you that way. Like, I had no idea that 21 was that funny, bro.
This nigga got on a mirror sock.
Oh my God! Bro, what is wrong? Okay, bro. All right, bro. All right, bro.
Bro, you a Mary fan, bro.
Age is a good fucking dude, man. All right, let's see the cipher real quick.
Agent need to put some socks on.
Bro, stop. This nigga went 1. Bro, stop.
This nigga walking in being raw dog.
You could literally pull up and just have a good time with 21, and that just makes you like a person more. You wanna support them. And kind of like the last thing that really made this all kind of come together for me when I was really thinking about like speaking on this, like even when you think about women in R&B today versus women in rap, it's actually crazy how night and day that difference is. I'll be struggling to make these same claims with a Summer Walker or a SZA. Like, women in R&B, they don't fit that in that meta where they have to show their body and they have to always be chronically online and in your face with viral moments every second, like the rappers are having to do. What makes women in R&B successful is largely following the same criteria that the men follow. Making good music. At the end of the day, that's what it's about. It shows in their sales. Look at Summer Walker. Sold 166K first week, was still over it. SZA sold 315K first week with SOS. Like, these are crazy numbers. And I get it, it's a different genre, but I think the point is R&B in general is known to be more deep and personable and less surface level. And you can't make terrible R&B music and be relevant. You can't just not be a good R&B artist and still have everyone's attention. I just can't think of even one example, like correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, I just can't think of one example where the music was terrible like it is now with female in rap and they're still considered the hottest in the game. Like, it just doesn't happen. And I think overall that pretty much sums up some of my main issues that I have with female rap at the moment and why this meta will always be fun in the moment and then fail in the end. If female rappers want to be more successful long term, they need to completely change their approach and broaden their genre appeal to incorporate more R&B and hip hop, really like R&B and pop elements to appear less one-dimensional. Like, stop focusing on trends and viral moments and talking about your booty hole. And not to throw a shot at Sexy Red. Again, I do like Sexy Red, but come on, bro. Like, let's throw some of that out and start focusing on building a great catalog. And then the album sales and the fans are going to just be a byproduct of that effort. I never claimed to know everything. I just wanted to give my 2 cents on this topic. Let me know what your thoughts are on this in the comments below. Trust me, if you made it this far, I'm going to keep going. I want you to be able to like follow my journey, trying to get to 500 subscribers. Nothing crazy, just trying to get the 5 piece and continue dropping videos for y'all, man. With that being said, I'm out. Catch me on the next one.